It's time for the One Bar and Lupagus Show, bringing you anything and everything Minnesota Vikings.
Welcome to professional football.
Good morning and welcome back to the One Bar and Lupagus Show. I am Lupagus with this week's Fantasy Focus. Minnesota Vikings versus the Atlanta Falcons. This one just screams tons of offensive fireworks. If you have any of these players in your fantasy lineups, you should be getting boatloads of points. This one looks to be a very, very high scoring affair. Let's start over on the Atlanta Falcons side of the football. Falcons' strength is their offense. They are loaded with stars. Kelvin Ridley has been the go-to receiver this year, and he should have another fine game against the Vikings and their inexperienced corners who are getting better. But Kelvin Ridley is a damn stud, so this could be a tough matchup for Gladney, Hughes, and the boys. Ridley's got 29 receptions on the season for 485 yards and 4 touchdowns. I definitely expect him to have at least 6 receptions, close to 100 yards, and at least 1 score, maybe more. Julio Jones is active for this one. There was some concern earlier in the week. I actually hope for Vikings fans that he wouldn't play, but he had a little hamstring injury, and those always hamper even the best receivers. So he's only got 15 receptions, 213 yards. What worries me here about Julio is he's due for a big breakout game. He's never really done that great against the Vikings. That's because they've had Xavier Rhodes, who's just always done very well against Julio, always seems to lock him down. Without Rhodes there, maybe this is the game where Julio explodes, does what he can do, get like the 10 reception, couple touchdown kind of a game that he has done in his career many times. So Julio kind of worries me more than Kelvin Ridley this week. So if you have Julio, start him again. But maybe the hamstring is worse than they're letting on, and maybe he's going to be more of a decoy out there. Who knows? Todd Gurley, he's also having a resurgent year this year. 375 rush yards, 5 touchdowns. Vikings have been okay against the run lately. They did kind of have a little bit of a lapse where they let Chris Carson gash him up the middle a couple times last week. But for the most part, the run defense seems to be getting better, at least better than it was in week 3 when Derrick Henry ran all over them. But again, Gurley should be a pretty good start. Should have a decent game. If we have Matt Ryan, this does look like a juicy matchup on paper with all his weapons. Matt Ryan being one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. One thing you got to factor in is he's never really done real great against Mike Zimmer's defense. In 17, he had just 173 passing yards with no touchdowns. Last year, he had 2 interceptions, was sacked 4 times. He did throw for 304 yards and 2 touchdowns, but that was kind of in garbage time. So Ryan might not be as strong of a play as he appears. Who knows? Again, if Jones and Ridley are doing what I say they're going to do, he's going to be a hell of a play. But he might have some interceptions, might turn that ball over. It's just what he does against the Vikings. So we'll see there. Just be cautiously optimistic if you have Matt Ryan. Looking at a sneaky play for the Falcons, how about Russell Gage? He's kind of been the odd man out in the passing game, but Ryan has looked his way pretty often lately. He's got 21 receptions, 224 yards, and 1 touchdown. So the Vikings are all concerned about Jones, Ridley, and Gurley. Gage could find himself open and could be a guy who is worth a play. Definitely like in a FanDuel, DraftKings, where you're looking for a cheap option at the wide receiver position. Let's move over to the Vikings. Kirk Cousins. If he's going to have a big old game, this is the team to do it against. This is like the worst secondary in the NFL. Cousins only has, he's got 1,132 passing yards, 8 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Again, if he's going to have a breakout game, this has got to be the team. I mean, they're dinged up. They're weak in the secondary. They should be throwing the ball early and often. So Cousins, I'm expecting at least 300 yards, 3 touchdowns from him this week. If it's not, then I don't know. Maybe Cousins is just going to have an off year all season long. But this is the game where he has to bust out. Adam Thielen had a great game against the Seahawks. No reason to think he can't continue that this week. He's got 29 receptions, 364 yards, 2 touchdowns on the season. Again, he's going against some corners who have been struggling, so he should find plenty of open space. And Justin Jefferson was a little bit quiet last week. I think he bounces back, has a big game this week. Again, I mean, I think he's kind of the guy who doesn't like to have that quiet game after he's busted out. I just kind of get that sense about him. So I think he's going to be extra motivated to put up some big stats this week against the Falcons. Alexander Madison, again, you got him, start him. He's going to be the starter this week. He's coming off a 112-yard performance against the Seahawks. The Falcons are a little bit better against the run than they are against the pass, so you got Grady Jarrett in the middle there. So the Vikings can neutralize Jarrett. Madison should have plenty of room. Again, I think Madison, yeah, he definitely got 100 yards, maybe a touchdown or two is in his future this Sunday. Sneaky play for the Vikings. They should be very, very cheap in any daily fantasy contest is the Minnesota Vikings defense. Again, it goes back just to the luck they've had against Matt Ryan in their recent games against him. This last year, they sacked him 4 times, a couple interceptions. So maybe Zimmer just is in Matt Ryan's head. I don't know what it is, but if you're going to take a gamble, maybe this is the week you gamble on the Vikings defense. I know on paper it doesn't look great, but they have performed well against Matt Ryan in the past, and maybe that carries over again to this Sunday. Maybe the team's pissed off and motivated, and they really want to just shut this team down early. And hopefully, guys like Odenabo, DJ Wanham, maybe old James Lynch step up again, make some big plays. We all know Yannick's going to get his, so he does every week. All right, that is the Week 6 Fantasy Focus Vikings versus Falcons. We will be back later with our official game prediction video. Probably do it out in the snow here. Maybe make snow angels. Who knows? Until then, guys, always be sure to keep your skull in your hole.